cranberry juice, and a wine glass.
All right. Hey, everyone. You are tuned in with Jalisa.
And Shanika, how we all?
I hope everyone is doing good. I hope they're doing good. I hope they enjoyed last week's episode.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I think it was really good. It even challenged me when I went back and looked and listened to it. I was like, wow, I said some things, heard some things that I didn't even realize.
Right. I even remembered that I said, and I had to write.
Right.
Like, oh, girl, that's good. Let me write that
down. Exactly. So, and we got some pretty positive feedback from it. So that's always a blessing. Just knowing that whatever we're doing is number one, honoring God, and then just being impactful to hopefully lead to transformation. So,
and we definitely appreciate all the feedback, y'all, when y'all comment.
Yes.
And leave they can leave a review like on Facebook.
Actually, yes, they can.
Leaving reviews and just all the good stuff, just engaging with us. Like, we really appreciate that.
Yes, most definitely. And so for this week, we wanted to kind of still talk about the quarantine, being that it's still something that's very prevalent and relevant right now. But only thing I think we're gonna do, I think this is probably the last episode we'll do about the quarantine.
Yeah.
Cause
I feel like we covered a lot last time.
Yeah, I agree. And then too, I don't. And Shanika, let me know how you feel about this, but I'm tired of talking about it too, in a sense.
Girl,
you know what I mean? I think, and we touched on that last week too.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of tired of talking about it too.
Right.
As you say it, because it's just like it's topic of everybody's conversation. Get on social media, it's something about it. It's just like everywhere. Everybody's talking about it. Family's talking about it. Friends are talking about it. It's everywhere. But
jobs.
We're gonna change the subject.
There you go.
After this one.
Exactly. And I think for this week, I think everyone will enjoy this as well. Just the different spin that we're about to present about the quarantine, and how during this time it can definitely challenge your thoughts in a negative way if you're not too careful.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So and I'll let you kind of lead into that about the comparison piece.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how we came, I remember when we were talking and planning, we kind of was like, okay, what we're going to talk about as far as like the quarantine, and we both said that we feel like comparison has been a big thing in this season. I know it has for me, and I've had to cast down some of those thoughts and make them obedient to what the Bible says.
Come on.
So we're just going to be a little vulnerable about what we have experienced during this time, and we just hoping that y'all can relate or even tell us and open up to us about like what has been going on in your head as far as like comparison and things. So I got it in my phone. As far as like comparison, something that when this first started, I found myself comparing myself just where I am in life. Especially like financially, just maybe thinking like I maybe should be a little further. Like maybe I should have saved more. Maybe I should have prepared myself for this. But it's just like no one could prepare for something like this to happen. So just reassuring me like, hey, you're good. Like everybody's experiencing this, and that's a truth that I had to continue to remind myself. Everybody, it's not just you experiencing this. Everybody is experiencing this. What were you gonna say?
No, that was a good point. I know that was one of the things that I believe my pastor actually, that was one thing she kind of presented to us all, like, hey, we all are experiencing this. It's the wealthy have a different experience of it than the lower class. No, we're all on the same wavelength with this thing. Now we may be impacted differently, but we definitely are all affected by this. But
absolutely.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. So God has been like constantly reassuring me that where I am is where I need to be, and He has me in this place because one day soon I'm going to be able to help somebody who is in this exact space, in in their moment.
Yeah.
And so I have to constantly remind myself when my bank account is not where I want it to be,
Mm-hmm.
or where I feel like I'm a little behind when I look at other people's lives,
Mm-hmm.
where as far as the career wise, financially, whatever, like purpose wise, whatever it is, just reminding myself like, hey, God has me here because someone is going to be at this place in some moment in their life, and I'm going to be able to speak to that.
Yes.
So that's something that I find myself comparing myself when it comes to looking at other people's career journeys. Other people may, just seeing different things on social media. And of course, that's what the enemy is going to use to kind of get you to compare yourself and look at other people's lives. But you don't really know what's going on in someone's life. Like, we don't really know.
No, exactly.
We don't really know. So the truth that I've been speaking to myself, like we talked about last week, not just speaking
last week,
right? Speaking it, just reminding myself that, hey, God has me here for a reason, and it's going to be to help someone else, because when they're in this moment, or when they're feeling, they're going to need someone to speak to them, and He's going to use me.
Facts. I like that. And one thing that I want to emphasize that you said is, I'm where I need to be.
Yes.
And I think, sometimes some of us, we want to skip over where we need to be in order to get to where we want to be.
Yes.
Sometimes.
And it's a big difference between want and need.
Definitely. I want to be, a millionaire, but maybe I need to be in this place where I can learn how to steward over, what God has already given me. Because if I can be faithful over a few things, He'll make me ruler over many.
Absolutely. Oh my God, I was just reading that scripture this morning. I can't quote it, but I was reading it this morning.
Exactly. So I think that's important to remember, like, not to rush that. And I know it's easier said than done because I have been there.
Yeah. It's a constant struggle for me, but you know what? I just keep reassuring myself because it's going to constantly come up. But once you have, you have that, you have your word, like whatever truth that you're standing on, you have that to combat it. So anytime it comes, you got it. It's like right here. So you have to use it.
Exactly. And then too, sometimes when we are in the valley, it seems like that's the ugly stages, because that's where all of the transforming and transformation takes place.
Yeah.
Even when you think about like a seed being in the ground,
yeah.
That's not a beautiful scene, but when a flower blooms,
yeah.
You can see admire it, the beauty or whatever like that. But sometimes when we are in those dark places, we think that nothing's happening, nothing is going, but in reality, that's where we're the most strong, because that's where you get your roots, you break through things, and you come up, like, what I'm saying.
Girl,
so I think it's just
you better be preaching to me right now. I hear you, and I don't know if this is for anyone else, but I feel like I'm always in transition, like literally, like, okay, it's like as soon as I get in a little, like, okay, this feels good, God's like, all right, we're gonna ramp it up again. But it's just like, instead of me looking at it as a negative thing, me looking at it as like, this is preparation for something. Like, God thinks so much of me. He wants me to be this powerful woman. So I have to go through these things because He's going to use that. Like, nothing that we go through is wasted. So just reminding myself of that. And because your perspective is wealth. So how you're viewing it, instead of me looking at it as a negative thing, I'm choosing to look at it like, God thinks so highly of me that He has me going through this because He wants to use me to teach, or to be a light for someone else. And in my quiet, girl, I gotta tell you, like in my quiet time, God has just been like reassuring to me, like, the things that we see as pain, He see it as light, a light for someone else. So I'm choosing to see the things that I'm going through as light instead of pain.
That's good. That's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
And then too, how comparison plays into that. Sometimes it's hard for us to accept or look or find the beauty, find the light in what we are experiencing or what we're going through, because we have now comparison makes you consumed by what the other person is. And now that we have more time than ever to be on social media, what I challenge people, and I want whoever's listening to think about that, like, what are you using social media for?
Mm.
You know, are you using it to look at what everybody else is doing?
Yeah.
Or are you using it to research? Are you using it to grow deeper in something? Are you using it to learn more in a different perspective? And I'm not saying anything is wrong with social media, of course, but there's always that factor of comparison, you know, because it's constantly in your face. And for me, you know, being a single woman, it's like, you know, man, I wish I could be quarantined in with someone, you know, or something like that.
It depends on who you're with, because you can be up in there with somebody that you don't need to be up in there with. Girl. But I get it. I get it.
But yeah, most definitely. So you think about those things, and like the old saying, the grass is not always greener on the other side. And then I thought about too how in a season where I'm like, man, you know, I wish even me and my friends were like, man, you know, wish I had kids or whatever like that. And now I'm seeing where my friends are grateful, like, whew, I'm glad I don't have kids right now in this season, because you know, groceries, like hearing how kids are eating things up. So it's all about, like you said, it's all about a matter of perspective, and just make sure that we are very conscious of, you know, when we're on social media and we're looking at other people during this time, and make sure we're not comparing. And I know another thing we're going to get into, how the, you know, I'm even seeing where people are putting expectations on other people during this time. So because you are quarantined, you're supposed to have like business ideas, or, you know, you're supposed to have, you know, come out with this brand new thing, and that may not be the case. So kind of speak to that, because I know we talked about that too. So kind of speak to that a little bit as well.
So I'm gonna just, you know, of course, speak my truth when it comes to this, because I found myself like maybe I should, you know, come up with this business idea or try to push something to make money, you know, just to do something. But me, when I don't feel comfortable about something, I'm not gonna do it. Like I ain't just doing stuff for money. Like I've done that before, and it has burnt me out. It has burnt me out. So the biggest thing for me that I keep hearing God say is rest your soul and write. So it's kind of like now the whole world has stopped. So me just, you know, like even like yesterday, I found myself, I was really tired. I had took like some allergy medicine the night before, but it literally just had me wiped out all day long. And so I was like, okay, the only thing I had to do was I need to go to the grocery store. But I found myself rushing to get to the grocery store. Like, girl, if you don't take a nap and be, you know, just rest, why are you in the rush to do so much when, you know, your time right now is kind of like you can do basically what you want. Of course, you want to use it wisely, you know, but there's nothing wrong with taking a nap. There's nothing wrong with watching a show, just allowing your soul to rest. And I was like, you know, when I go to the grocery store, I'm not going to be rushing. Like, I'm just going to take my time and, you know, just walk around or whatever and actually get what I need to get. But and also, so I kind of got that revelation yesterday when I felt myself like I got to get to the grocery store. Like, where am I going? Like, what you got to do? Like asking myself, like, what do you got to do?
Right.
But rest, like, so God was saying, like, rest my soul and to write. I feel like during this time, God has been pushing me to write. You know, because I've always, I'm gonna put it out there. I've always wanted to write my own Bible plan.
You have been saying
I love Bible plans, girl. Bible plans have like saved my life so many times, girl. Like I'm the queen of. I will find you a Bible plan. You want some? I'm gonna find you some. Like all my friends know.
You didn't send me some.
I will send you one. But I wanted to have like my own Bible plan about healing. Talking about like healing and even transitions. I also want to talk about that too, and maybe like godly dating, like. God has given me like all these like ideas to kind of write about, but I have to develop the discipline to actually sit down and to write. So I feel like now in this season, God is developing that discipline in me to sit down and actually write something. It doesn't have to be like a whole devotional, but a part of it still matters. So I'm just that's what I'm doing in this season, and just reminding myself of that truth.
Okay.
So I'm not, comparing my journey to everyone and just feeling like, I'm behind in different things. Like I'm actually doing what God told me to do, these 2 things. So that's what I need to be doing, just staying focused on that.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
I like that. I would say, to prevent me from comparing to what, everyone else has going on, I've examined myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I know last week I kind of talked about developing fresh eyes.
Yep.
So I use this time to be selfish. Just being honest. I think sometimes we do need that. I use this time to kind of shut down everything else and, ask God, okay, so God, what is it that, not that I need, but what do you need from me?
Yes.
Because we always are asking God for this, that, and the third, and never do, I ask God, what is it that you want from me?
Yeah.
And so I feel like in this time, he was saying to me, like, I just want to spend time with you.
Yeah.
I just want to spend time with you. I don't want a quick, I read my verse of the day, and that's it. I need you.
Yeah.
I need time to speak to you, Jaleesa. So
Yes.
those things, those concerns that you've been wrestling with, I can bring you clarity on certain things. I need you to get deeper in my word. So for me, that's what I've been doing. And I think and taking a break, limiting how much we spend too much time. Some people spend too much time, way too much time on social media.
Girl, I feel like my time on social media has ramped up, but I also have been feeling like God telling me like I need you to pull back.
Yeah.
So I'm actually planning to do a fast. I don't know how long I am, but a fast is definitely needed during this time. So
yeah, I agree completely.
And exactly like what you just said just reminded me of being versus doing. And so we think that we have to keep doing to please God, but when He just wants us to be, be even if you just sit down and like worshiping or like reading your book, like you're doing enough. Just knowing that who you are and who He is, shaping you to be is enough. Like even if you never did another thing, like God is just like, I love you so much. Like you don't have to feel like you have to strive to do all of these things to please me. When you just being yourself is enough.
I like that. And sometimes I think when we're in that mode of being instead of doing, God begins to change our hearts.
Yes.
And when our hearts change, and matter of fact, our last week's episode is really like just intertwining because we talked briefly about where your treasures lie. Yeah. So, and your heart, I forgot that. We always forget in scriptures. We got to do better with that.
We got to write it down.
I'm like, but I think where your heart is where your treasure lies. I think that's how it goes. So whatever is in quote unquote my heart, whatever I feel like I'm passionate about, that's where all of my time and my efforts, my money, whatever, that's what it's going to go to ultimately. So, I just think, I just say all of that to say, I think it's important that, during this time like of being, ask God to search your heart. And I'm big on that. Like, God, search my heart. If there's anything in it, like make it plain to me. I will say that over and over again because we are human. We don't. I tell my friends all the time, we don't walk around with mirrors. So we can't see ourselves. Sometimes we can't see our selfishness. Sometimes we can't see our entitlement. Sometimes we can't see our arrogance. Sometimes we can't see our attitude. And so, and sometimes I wonder, like, during this quarantine, if that's a part of why this is going on, so people can start examining themselves. Take your eyes off of what everybody else is doing, finding fault in everyone else, and look at yourself. So
good, girl.
So I like that. Good. I like that.
Good.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. We about to go there.
Oh God.
What is something that you feel like God may have like delivered you from this, but what do you think? What was something that you had your treasure in before?
Shanika.
Because some people may not know.
No, I love it.
Some people may not know. And girl, I just had these revelations of where my treasure was. Like before, like what everything has been going in. So I feel like I'm just learning this. I like to see, what other people
That's
been experiencing too.
That's good. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, all right. I don't think it was never material things.
Mm-hmm.
I never really been big on that. I think I'm reflecting on my journey. That's why I say to see like what was the common theme.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if I can say that. A part of me wants to say being the fixer.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And control.
Mm-hmm.
That always comes up with us.
Yeah.
But definitely being the fixer, and I know it's something else. I really hope that it comes to me, because I feel like it's something more powerful there.
Mm-hmm.
That would encompass my journey. But okay, so let me speak on being the fixer. Mm-hmm. What I mean by that. So I felt that if I wasn't able to fix something,
mm-hmm.
then I put my worth. Okay, so I attach my worth to that. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, if my friends come to me with something, if I was in a relationship with something,
mm-hmm.
I felt like whatever the problem was, I needed to be the one.
Yeah.
I needed to be the answer.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to. I don't know. That's really tough.
Kind of like.
Yeah.
Like I understand what you're saying. I feel like it's kind of plain, like as far as like you fixing things, like you getting your significance from fixing other people's problems.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That and I think I'm probably making it a little more complicated.
I struggle with that too.
But yeah,
I've definitely struggled with that too. And I had to realize that I'm not everybody's God. And I might be in the way of what God really wants to do for someone else.
I've definitely been guilty of that.
Yeah.
It took me a while to admit that.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely have been guilty of that.
Yeah.
Wanting to almost have a God complex. Not intentionally, of course.
Yes.
But feeling like you need me. You have to have me.
Yeah.
If you don't have me, then you ain't doing nothing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So arrogant, and not sure where. I'm pretty sure that's a reason for why I developed that.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I feel like that's probably, and I'm happy that God delivered me from that.
Yes.
Where I don't have to be the one to fit. I know when to say no.
Yeah.
I know when, if a friend comes to me, I can say, I'm gonna pray for you, girl. I got you. But I can't give you advice on that.
Yeah.
I'm big on that too.
I need to learn that.
Yeah.
I need to learn
my friends will tell you. I will say that quickly. If it's something that I know I don't have, or I'll say, listen, I don't necessarily have experience in this, or I don't feel comfortable with giving you something, but I best believe I'm gonna be praying with you.
That's
praying
such a healthy response.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I struggle with that, but I struggle when I don't know exactly what to say. And like the other day, I was with a friend, and she had just lost her grandfather. And of course people are trying to find the words to say and this and that, but I really felt God just tell me, listen to her, don't speak, just listen. Be there for her. The silence is what she needs, just for her to express her emotions. And you don't have to fix this. Yeah. Because I'm already there. You just being there, and that's okay. Like, you're still a good friend if you don't say anything or you don't have the words to say. Because why do we equate, why do we feel like if we don't have the words to say or we can't do something to fix something, like, we start feeling guilty? And the word says, and I was actually listening to a podcast on the way here, and it was like the word says to be Christ-like, not Christ.
It's so crazy. I just heard that. It wasn't a podcast, but I just had heard that same revelation, like that same way. Like, we are like Christ. We are not Christ. Yeah. Which means take that perfection away. Take that control away. You are not Christ. Like, surrender. That is the hardest thing for us to do. But anyway, I don't want to cut you off, but keep on.
Yeah, no, girl, that's so, And, I was talking to my boyfriend about this, and he was like, well, that was enough. Like, you just being there and sitting, just listening to her, that was enough. And I was like, you are absolutely right.
Wow.
Because guess what? Any other time I'm prompted to speak, I would have knew if God wanted me to say something. But in that moment, I didn't hear anything, so I was just quiet.
And sometimes we can do more damage. That was something I learned because I've been that person. Like, we keep it real, right? I've been that person who's giving advice thinking I'm helping, and I've done more damage. So now I'm more conscious, like, okay, God, am I supposed to speak now?
Yeah.
Because we go into help mode.
Yeah.
I need to be doing something. When in reality, God, I didn't tell you to do that. You're in the way of what I need to be doing right now. Maybe I needed them to be alone so that I could sit with them, not so you could be in their space.
Yeah.
And that's really big. And something I knew God was gonna put it in my mind. So I also said, my treasure's life would be in the fixer, but also my treasure was relationships.
Girl, that was mine.
For real, look,
we're gonna get your perspective and mine, but that was a huge one for me, girl. For me, this is before I got in this relationship that I'm in, me and Trey.
Yeah.
Before, I just felt like my eyes was always set on a relationship. Like, if I was single, like, oh, you be going to the grocery store, like, oh, is this my man? Like, I gotta look cute, because, you just like, you always looking for somebody. Like, yeah. But I had to get real with myself. Okay, like, why am I not okay single? And why do I feel like I got to have this person on my side to feel significant? Getting down to the root of, why. But I know that now it's because of past trauma. And trauma was showing up in that way, because that way made me feel like I was significant if I was with someone. But when I was by myself, you get lonely, and you just be bored, you just see all this cute couple stuff or whatever. But one thing I can say, when you're in a godly relationship, and I'm in one now, thank you Jesus, it's still hard. Like, you still have to do the work. Like, you want to marry this person, it's still work you're going to be doing as you're getting to know each other. So it's like, girl, you better enjoy this time, because even when you get in it, like, God is going to be showing you different things that you need to be working on. So you better pump them brakes, because when you get in it, look. That's it. Yeah, that is it. But that was something that I found myself, I just didn't feel significant if I wasn't with someone, whether it was bad or good, So, and I now know the root of that was past trauma, and so it's kind of like, if you're feeling like that, if you're feeling like, man, I just want a relationship, like, if that's something that's always on your mind, and you feel down, or not saying like, because everybody goes through that occasional feeling or whatever, but if it's something that you're constantly thinking about, maybe you should just ask God, like, hey, is my treasure in this? Ask God, because he'll tell you. He will definitely tell you, where your treasure is.
Most definitely. I love everything that you said just then, and for me, I would be extremely uncomfortable with being alone. Like, I did not like it for some reason, and but one thing that I will encourage people to do, if you are in a season of singleness, take time to search yourself. Yes. And if therapy is not your thing, that's fine. Ask God to reveal certain things to you, because He will. And because to a certain degree, I'm a firm believer, and I know some people will combat this, and that's fine. But I think there's certain healings you have to do alone. I don't think that you're supposed to take everything into something new. I just, that's just my firm belief. And sometimes what will happen, we will get with people with the expectation of they're supposed to fix me, they will heal me from this, or I can fix my trauma from this, and that's not the way it's supposed to go. Exactly. It becomes toxic more so than a godly relationship type.
And that person, like, who you're going to be with, they can choose if they want to deal with that. or not, depending on what it is. Like, we can't just go in and be like, oh, you have to accept me. No, they don't have to do anything.
I love that.
And something like,
love that.
me and my therapist was talking about, just talking about like a past trauma that I've experienced. And then she asked me, she was like, does Trey know about this? And I'm like, yes. And she said, he accepted it? I was like, yeah. And she was like, okay, it was kind of like, just making sure that we actually had this conversation about this, because you can't go into a relationship thinking that, oh, I'm only telling this and not this. No. If you want to be, in a healthy marriage and a healthy relationship, they're going to need to know everything. You can't be going in there like, oh, I'm going to tell them this and that, not that.
Yeah.
No, that ain't going to work.
Yep.
That's not going to work. I don't even know how we got here, but I don't know.
Shanika, we do this every time. We gotta stay on topic.
I know.
We do this every time. But this also goes to show how, even in this, because we started off talking about like the quarantine or whatever like that, and how even just how this conversation kind of took a turn of its own. It's a matter of perspective, because even though the quarantine is going on, and its issues with it, guys, we still have a whole lot of issues, a whole bunch of other things that's going on too, that we still need to be equipped for, and need to be working towards fixing and different things like that. And I just say that to encourage people during this time, like, don't get so caught up in with this person doing, that person doing, what she doing, what he got, all of that. Focus, ask God what it is that he wants to do with you in this season.
Yes.
Focus on especially while you have the excuse of not having to go to different things and, things are being shut down.
You have the time. Now is the perfect time. Like, don't waste this time.
Exactly.
Don't waste this stillness.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I remember, when I wasn't working, like last year, I used to, when I was going to like therapy, I just felt like it was a lot, just unpacking things. And at that time, I was going to like a group therapy, even though it was only 2 of us, but it was still kind of like very like small or whatever.
Yeah.
But still, I remember I was like, dang, I can't even imagine working. I'm working on myself and trying to go to work and help somebody else. I was just so thankful that God allowed me time to like heal my body, because I was going through, a physical illness, but heal my body, but also heal my mind without having to go to work, get up and go to work. Because can you imagine? It's hard dealing with trauma, then got to get up and go to work and act like things are fine. Like, it's a lot. So
that's why
you got this time?
Yeah.
Like, just be able to heal in private, I guess, like healing.
Yes. And that's why I was saying, that's why I was saying last week of how this was it wasn't even intentional. It just kind of failed that way. Why I started with my therapist doing, and this was the perfect season, perfect time, because I don't have a lot going on. I can sit with some things, I can challenge myself on some things. I don't have to, okay, I had this appointment, now I gotta run and do this. But no, I can kind of sit, process a little more, and do that, do the things I need to do for Jaleesa. And so another concern, I know we talked about comparison during, quarantine or whatever like that. People having certain expectations of you, like, hey, when you come out of quarantine, you should have a new business. You should have, maybe you should just be well rested.
Yeah.
Maybe
your soul
exactly
healing.
Right. Finances may have improved here and there. You've done some soul searching.
Yeah.
So I challenge people to think on this. What will your life be like after quarantine? Especially, and we talk about God, and we don't hide our relationship with God.
Yeah.
We're very vocal about that. I wonder, and I actually heard a sermon of Pastor Michael Todd, and I was thinking about it before I even heard the sermon, so it was just confirmation for me. But people are talking about God right now. They're praying right now.
I feel like now more than ever.
Yes.
Like everywhere. And it's so good. I'm seeing people, who may haven't had a relationship with God. I'm seeing them like, just come out of their shell a little bit and like sharing what God is doing. It's a great time.
I
love seeing it.
I think so too. Me too.
I love seeing it, and everybody, just sharing encouragement, because we're all in this together.
Exactly. But I want to challenge you a little bit this time.
Okay.
Yeah. So even though I think it's wonderful right now, my concern is after the chaos is over, what will people go back to? You know, will you continue to do your journaling? Will you continue to read? Will you continue to spend time with God? Now, granted, I know it would alter a little bit because we'll be back into like as far as work and things like that.
Yeah.
But how will your relationship with God look after this quarantine is over? You know, are you still going to pray to Him? You know, will your prayers change a little bit? You know, because sometimes I'm pretty sure guys get tired of hearing the same prayer over and over again.
Ooh,
like,
Lord.
you know, you still want me, you still praying for
Yeah,
me.
you
Like,
still
there's
praying.
so many other things I have for you.
Yes.
And you're still praying. So I'm hoping people, you know, will continue the journey. Stay with God.
Yes.
Even after
this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
After all the chaos.
Absolutely. And I know one thing for me, and I've fallen off, but I need to get back on this, and I will. Before, like, soon as I wake up, to allow that time with God instead of before I click on any social media app, I want to spend time with God.
Facts.
Because it's so easy. Like now, you know, your schedule is kind of like our schedule is like a little bit off, so it's like so easy to get up and just hit Instagram, Facebook, or no matter what it is, or get caught up in like text messages and stuff, you know, catching up or whatever. But maybe I know I want to be challenging myself to get in the habit of before I seek anything else, I need to be seeking God.
Exactly.
And also something that I want to incorporate in my daily routine is praying before bed again. Because I feel like I used to do that. You know, I used to do it as a child, you know, but if I'm honest, I've gotten out of that. You know, like I get in the bed, you just be tired and you just go to sleep, you know.
Me too.
So I want to start like praying before bed, and I've also started like some scripture cards for myself, maybe reading one of those, kind of thinking on things before I go to bed.
Okay.
So and then even like throughout the day, I love, like, I'm just really loving this pace that I have, you know, just being able to not have this rushed day. So I'm going to challenge myself to learn how to stay in this pace, the pace of grace, I guess.
That's
the
it.
pace of
the
grace.
Pace of grace. I love it.
So that's what I want to do. I don't want to go back to that rushing feeling, like, you know, just feeling like as soon as you get up, you got to go, do, be, you know, just like learning to create a new normal for myself. I feel like that's what's happening. You know, everybody talking about creating a new normal. I'm creating a new normal for myself of learning to not be so rushed all the time.
Facts.
Learning to give myself that soul rest that God's been telling me about. So
I love that. And I heard something the other day, not only the pace of grace, but to pace your emotions. Yes.
What does that mean?
So it was I think it was T.D. Jake's wife, Sarita Jakes.
Oh my God, I was listening to her on my way here. Her and Sarah had a podcast.
I love her. And she was the one who mentioned this. She was like, you know, pace your emotions. I think that she was saying, you know, you're gonna feel frustrated. You're going to feel sad. You're gonna have moments where you're angry, where you're happy, whatever. But pace yourself. Don't get, because if I'm mad with during this quarantine time, it can only intensify. Yes. So I feel like this whole pandemic has only intensified with what for some people was already there. So if I get frustrated easily, it's gonna intensify because of what's going on. So she was just like, pace yourself. Don't allow yourself a few minutes to be upset, whatever. But let's keep going. Let's slowly let's walk ourselves out of
not
that.
allowing something small, or whether it's big or small, to just take away your whole day. Exactly.
She was like, pace yourself. Like even the grocery store example, and how you was like, okay, let me slow down. That was pacing yourself. Pacing your. I don't have to be frustrated. I don't have to feel overwhelmed. I don't have to feel upset. So for me, I get easily, I get easily frustrated.
Me too. The smallest things, girl. The smallest things. I'm working on it. We're working on it.
Me too. So that was that. So I think that's good. When you said pace of grace, it made me think about that, and pace your emotions.
Too. I love that.
Me too.
So good, girl. Yes.
Yes. So but yeah, so we can wrap it up. Unless you have anything else, we can go ahead and give the juice for the week.
Yeah, go ahead, girl. Give us the juice.
Okay,
girl.
all right. So after pondering in my study time this morning, the juice for the week, and it kind of piggybacks off of me saying, how will we be after this quarantine is over?
Mm-hmm.
So if our goal is to continue to mature, especially in our relationship with God,
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to continue living in an immature state
Mm-hmm.
with or level with our relationship with God. We should constantly be progressing and evolving. So with that being said, will you continue to, I'm not even gonna say will, I'll challenge you and say, stay committed to Christ and not committed to chaos.
Yes. Ooh, that's a word. Say it one more time, girl. They ain't here.
Stay committed to Christ and not committed to chaos.
Yeah.
So stay committed to seeking God, journaling, praying, resting, reading your scriptures. It can get tiresome too, but stay committed to that.
Yeah.
And not, because when you're committed to Christ, the circumstances doesn't dictate your relationship.
Yes.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but when in chaos moment, that's when we want to pray. That's when we want to run and do this and do that. But it should be like you said in the morning, when you check, changing what you check, it should be a daily routine.
Yes.
So that is the juice for the week.
Absolutely. I love it. That's so good, girl.
Thank you.
So good. Yes.
Thank you. So yeah, that's all we have for you guys this week. Until next week, be safe.
See y'all later.
And be blessed.